December 15th, 2014 meeting of the Public Safety Committee will now come to order. Will the clerk please call the roll?
Chairman Ansello.
Here.
Mr. Baroff. Here. Ms. Boyce. Here. Mr. Howland. Here. Mr. Willie Lightfoot is excused. Mr. Michike is excused. Mr. Morelli. Here. Ms. Taylor is excused. Mr. Yolovich. Here. President Adair. Here.
Is there anyone signed up for the public forum?
There's not.
Is there anyone present who's not signed up to speak who would like to address the committee at this time? Okay, seeing no one, the next item on the agenda is the approval of minutes. You have the November 17th, 2014 minutes before you. They will stand approved unless the clerk is notified of any changes by the end of the day. The next item on the agenda is new business.
Referral 14-0377.
Moved by Legislator Boyce, seconded by Legislator Adair. President Adair. Is there any discussion? Yes.
Yes,
Legislator
please.
Barat.
Thank you. Through the chair of the administration, I just have one quick question regarding this. How many overtime hours do these investigations typically generate for local agencies? An approximation is fine.
Through the chair, Jennifer Curley from the Sheriff's Office, approximately 350 hours of overtime was claimed to both of these funding sources. I do not know the regular time, so that would be the salaried employees assigned to that.
Thank you. But through the chair of the administration, this is only about overtime anyhow, correct?
Through the chair, that is correct.
Thank you.
Is there any further discussion? Okay, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Opposed? The item carries. Next item, please.
Referral 14-0378.
Moved by President Adair, seconded by Legislator Howland. Is there any discussion? Legislator Barat.
Thank you. Through the chair of the administration, I just want to ask, this is the second year of the grant. Am I correct to assume that the administration would consider the first year of the grant to be a success?
Through the chair, I can tell you what we did during that year. I mean, whether or not it was a success, we were trying to reduce fatals and personal injury and property damage crashes. For the reporting period, we issued 101 tickets for speeding, 75 for aggressive driving, cell phone was 61, and others was 110. And as the years go down, as we increase the years, the funding is decreasing too. So the number of hours that they can actually write tickets goes down, so then the numbers are going to go down.
Okay. Then just as a brief follow-up to the chair of the administration, would you then believe it's reasonable to say that the funding we did get this past year resulted in these increased totals of ticketing as opposed to the year priors?
Through the chair, that's correct.
Thank you.
Is there any further discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye. Opposed? The item carries. Next item, please.
Referral 14-0379.
Moved by Legislator Howland, seconded by Legislator Yolovich. Is there any discussion? Legislator Morelli.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Through you to the administration, can you tell us a little bit about what equipment is being purchased with this $20,000 grant?
Through the chair, yes, I can. Some of the equipment is canine care, which would be first aid kits for the dogs. Second is canine harnesses. And the third is tactical headsets and for radio communications. And that is it for equipment.
Thank you. And through you to the administration, is any of this money go toward training?
Through the chair, yes, some of it does.
And just to follow up to that through you, is that training on both the part of the canines and the handlers? Is that what that's for?
Through the chair, that is correct.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Is there any further discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye. Opposed? The item carries. Next item, please.
Referral 14-0380.
Moved by legislator Yolovich, seconded by legislator Boyce. Is there any discussion? Legislator Barat.
Thank you. Through the chair of the administration, I suspect this is just correct, but I just want to make sure. The dates indicated from December 16th, 2013 to July 31st, 2014 are in fact correct for this referral?
Through the chair, that is correct. That is the contract for the grant. The program will run from January 13th to the end of the school year. Oh, I'm sorry. Yes, that is correct. The dates are correct.
Thank you very much.
Is there any further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Opposed? The item carries. Next item, please.
Referral 14-0381.
Moved by legislator Boyce, seconded by President Adair. Is there any discussion? Legislator Boyce.
Yes, through the chair, if I could, Ms. Curley, could you tell me, I know they had an SRO in the, or at the school district previously to this, and now based on the fact that Senator Galvin is now funding this position again, is there anything in particular that the school district has pointed out that they need an SRO for?
Through the chair, they just wanted the program again, and they were concerned about safety and security plans for the school. They want the deputy to sit on those meetings, as well as provide the normal SRO duties.
Through the chair, is there any specific data that you could provide?
Through the chair, what kind of data?
Data with regards to, arrests that were made or any kind of.
Through the chair, yes, we can provide that in writing to you.
Okay, I appreciate that. Thank you.
Okay. Is there any further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Opposed? The item carries. Next item, please.
Referral 14-0382.
Moved by President Adair, seconded by Legislator Howland. Is there any discussion? Yes, Legislator Barat.
Thank you. Through the chair of the administration, I noticed it asked for one of the things this program is going to be paying for is software to support casework. Is that software we already currently possess, or is that software we need to purchase? Through the chair.
Through the chair, John Clark from the Crime Lab. Yes, some of that software we already own, and some of it will be for updates for that software.
Thank you. And then through the chair of the administration, this is in regard to an accreditation process. Is that correct?
Some of the money will go towards our accreditation fees, yes.
Thank you. And through the chair of the administration, how often do we need to be accredited here? Yearly, 3 years, something like that?
The accreditation cycle, through the chair, the accreditation cycle has just been switched to every 4 years. However, we must pay an accreditation fee yearly, and we also have to have a surveillance visit, which is a mini audit, if you will, to keep up with our accreditation.
Thank you. And finally, through the chair of the administration, where in the 4-year cycle are we currently?
Through the chair, we just received our last annual, our last full accreditation assessment in 2013.
Thank you.
Is there any further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Opposed? The item carries. And next item, please.
Referral 14-0383.
Moved by Legislator Howland, seconded by Legislator Yolovich. Is there any discussion? Legislator Boyce.
Yes, through the chair, apologize. A couple of things I wanted to ask Mr. Burns. Mr. Burns, could you tell me, do we have a breakdown of where or when we're using, not when, but where we're using these pre-trial services as far as the court system? So the outlying courts outside of Monroe County Court, so the town courts.
Through the chair, Bob Burns from the Office of Probation. This program serves every court, every criminal court, which would be adult courts, so Supreme, County, City, Town, and Village. So the services are for all courts. We could get you a breakdown if that's what you're looking for.
Yes,
For
that's what I was,
2013 services, if you'd like.
yes. That would be great.
Sure, we can do that.
Okay, thank you.
Any further, yes, Legislator Barat.
Through the Chair of the Administration, I actually would like a copy of that report as well, if at all possible.
Through the chair, that'd be fine.
Thank you. And I have one question regarding the contract. Through the chair, the current contract is not to exceed an amount of $1.22 million per year. What is the annual amount of the previous contract?
Through the chair, I don't have it in front of me, but I believe it was almost precisely the same. It might be slightly higher by $10,000 or $20,000.
Okay, thank you very much.
Is there any further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Any opposed? The item carries. And next item, please.
Referral 14-0384.
Moved by Legislator Yolovich, seconded by Legislator Boyce. Is there any discussion? Legislator Barat.
Thank you. Through the Chair of the Administration, I noticed in the referral that the FLRYJT is going to be working on reform efforts for juvenile justice. What sort of reform efforts are we referring to through the Chair?
Through the chair, the Regional Youth Justice Team is an advisory group. It's a collective group of juvenile justice representatives from a variety of Southern Tier and Finger Lakes counties. The reform that is talked about by DCJS is simply reviewing how we handle juvenile delinquency and person in need of supervision matters now, and potentially recommending law changes or process changes with state government.
Thank you. And through the Chair of the Administration, I note that this is the first year we've received this grant, and other communities or entities must have received it prior to us. Are our efforts or work or goals the same or similar to those of, well, for example, whoever received it last year?
Through the chair, this is the first time state DCJS has provided any funding for regional youth justice teams.
Thank you. Through the Chair, my apologies. I misread the referral then. Thank you.
Okay. Is there any further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? The item carries. And next item, please.
Referral 14-0385.
Moved by Legislator Boyce, seconded by President Adair. Is there any discussion? Legislator Barat.
Thank you. Through the Chair of the Administration, I just wanted, I had a quick question regarding, is the county reimbursed as orders come in, or do we receive this grant in a block amount at the beginning of the year or the end of the year?
Through the chair, this is a formula that identifies a dollar amount for every ignition interlock order the Office of Probation receives. We voucher on a quarterly basis, so it's a reimbursement for services.
Thank you. And a follow-up, through the Chair of the Administration, I note we have an increase of $31,000. Does that increased funding reflect a rising number of cases?
Through the chair, that also is a formula that is determined by state DCJS, Division of Criminal Justice Services. They anticipate the number of DWI arrests that might occur in Monroe County and in all of the counties, and they identify a number through that. They look at trends and so on. So they increased this amount slightly from last year.
Thank you. So just so I understand through the Chair, then the state is determined that they anticipate we might have an increase.
Through the chair, absolutely. We have no input on that. It's determined by the state.
Thank you.
Is there any further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Opposed? The item carries. Next item, please.
Referral 14-0386.
Moved by President Adair, seconded by Legislator Howland. Is there any discussion? Legislator Barat.
Thank you. And my apologies for the repeated question.
No, you're fine.
Through the Chair of the Administration, I just want to be sure, this money is only supposed to support existing salaries, but it can allow for future hiring. Is that correct?
Through the chair, Jenny Saturn, Public Safety. It's for sustainment of public safety answering point operations, so you can use it for multiple things.
Thank you. And through the chair of the administration, however, intends just to use it for current staffing, correct?
Through the chair, because the amount is minimal compared to what we pay for the services.
Thank you.
Any further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Opposed, the item carries. And last item, please.
Referral 14-0387.
Moved by Legislator Holland, seconded by Legislator Yolovich. Is there any discussion? No? Okay. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Opposed, and the item carries. Are there any other matters to come before this committee? Yes, Legislator Morelli.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I just, through you to the administration, there was this isn't necessarily a question, but there was an article in today's Democrat and Chronicle in regards to emergency communication, and it talks about some implementation of new radio systems. I was wondering if the administration could perhaps, in writing, send to legislators an update on where that radio system project is, and just some additional details on where it stands in its implementation.
In yesterday's paper.
It was in yesterday's paper. I
Sunday
apologize. If it's possible that we could have just an update, perhaps in writing.
Through you, Mr. Chairman, we'd be happy to provide that too.
Great. Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman.
Legislator Boyd.
Based on legislator's question, I'm just wondering if they could answer through the chair, if there is a issue with coverage by a provider, say an AT&T, a Verizon, or whatever, in an area, and a person's in an emergency situation, and they do call, or they can't call 911 for some reason. What happens? Is there ever, or does 911, is there a different thing that happens with 911? I'm just curious, because I know we have points in our community that this coverage is not going to be available.
Through you, Mr. Chairman, I think we're talking about two separate issues. If we're talking about
Okay.
the article that Legislator Morelli was referencing was addressing the radio communications tower and infrastructure
Okay.
that will service first responders, police, fire, EMS, and that coverage system, I believe that the target goal is 98% over the county. I think what you're discussing is more about cell phone coverage and accessibility issues that subscribers might have with regards to 911 services if they need that.
Yeah.
And I don't have an answer, and I'd be more than happy to ask people at 911 what the case may be, but I think that just practical experience that we all have day in and day out, we know that there are dead spots in coverage areas that occur, and I'm not too sure that there's much that I know that cell phone providers work every day to try and eliminate those as much as possible, building out their infrastructure, but I'll inquire with 911 and see if there's an answer to your question.
Okay, thank you.
There being no other matters, the December 15th, 2014 meeting of the Public Safety Committee stands adjourned. The next meeting of the Public Safety Committee will be held on Monday, January 26, 2015 at 5:30 p.m. And Merry Christmas, everyone.